What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the Not Rocket Science Challenge, where the aim is to imitate a Team Go Rocket member in the Go Battle League. On the right hand side of the screen there are a bunch of different ways in which you can earn points for this challenge, and in the brackets you can see the maximum number of points you can earn for each bullet point. Now this might look a little bit complicated, but actually my subscribers have made this much easier for both me and all of you viewing this video, because every single trainer inside the top 10 has managed to score the maximum number of points for each bullet point, besides the one where of course there is no upper limit. So instead of trying to track every single point earned throughout the video, we can now simply just track the points earned via throwing a charge attack as soon as it's reached each time. What this does mean is that the scores are ridiculously close, and it also means that I underestimated you guys, as I'll be honest, I didn't expect so many of you to be able to achieve every single requirement for the challenge. I thought most people would have to sacrifice maybe scoring points in a certain area to get points in a different area, so well done to everyone involved. I believe this is the challenge that has had the most entries so far in the series with 39, so thank you to everyone that sent in a submission, and as always I'll be announcing next week's challenge at the end of this video, and the challenge was a little bit inspired by PokeAK, so if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about, make sure you stick around until the end of this video. But with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Going forward, do you think there should be some sort of ELO multiplier applied to the scores for these weekly subscriber challenges? I've enjoyed the fact that there's no penalty for entering these challenges at a lower ELO, but it's probably quite obvious that the higher up in ELO you are, the harder it's going to be to complete these challenges, and I feel like that was even more obvious with this week's challenge, because there was very little skill required for this challenge if you actually think about some of the requirements: not swapping out of bad matchups, shielding the first two charge attacks, throwing moves as soon as you get there without taking into account good timing. I'm basically just describing the habits of a very low ELO player, so maybe a small percentage multiplier based on your ELO would be a good idea in the future. A few legend trainers have just barely missed out on getting into the top 10 for the past few weeks, so let me know your thoughts down below. But anyways, with that being said, let's finally get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle. We've got a shiny Shadow Lapras, and by the way, I do want to clarify for anyone watching here, of course, any Pokemon that does not evolve also counts as an unevolved Pokemon for this challenge. But either way, we've already got 1 point in it as we do go straight for the Sparkling Aria. I'm going to shield that first charge attack as we have to, and again, another point there for throwing the charge attack straight away. Sparkling Aria, of course, resisted once again, but it doesn't really matter. At this point, we're going to have to shield once again, and then once again, going to go straight for that charge attack. So you can already see that, realistically, like, you don't really have to think too much in these battles. All you have to do is follow the rules here, but either way, we get the KO up against the Azumarill. The opponent comes in with a Wigglytuff, once again going for that Sparkling Aria straight away. So again, another point on the board, but unfortunately they will be able to fully Charm Farm us down. Now we have to stick to the order that we've got here, so going to come in with the Shadow, a load of Ninetales. Going to have to, of course, tank this charge move here, but the opponent does go for an Icy Wind, and they're now going to swap into a Druddigon, which is absolutely fine with us. We're going straight for the Weather Ball, once again getting a point there for throwing the charge move straight away, and able to reach another Weather Ball before the opponent throws a charge move. So at this point, Weather Ball going to grab the final shield there. They're going to throw a charge attack, but they've only got resistant moves to throw, so Ninetales able to tank that, go for the Powder Snow farm down, and Ninetales able to reach another Weather Ball, once again throwing straight away. We're actually going to fully undercharge this just to allow the Shadow Regice to come in and reach another charge attack up against this Wigglytuff. So the opponent fires off another Icy Wind, again going for the move that is resisted. Again, we fire off the move straight away, so we're going to finish on 8 points there. Earthquake gets the KO, and Pooblees goes into the lead, of course, with the first battle, finishing with 8 points in total. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Shadow Gligar in the lead. This is going to be a triple ground team, and we're going for Aerial Ace. So once again, throwing that Aerial Ace straight away, so we will get a point on the board. Aerial Ace, not going to do too much damage there, and of course, Fury Cutter is resisted. Going to be forced to shield these first two charge moves, and actually, this is going to be really tricky for us. I don't really know how we will deal with this Azumarill, but of course, going to go for another Aerial Ace straight away, getting another point on the board, and the opponent once again gonna fire off their charge attack straight away as well, so gonna double shield here, and let's see what the Shadow Gligar can do. Of course, throwing straight away, which unfortunately means that we will be letting in like 3 bubbles in every now and then, because we're just gonna have to throw as soon as we get there, but we do reach a last second Aerial Ace, absolutely huge for us. We get them deep into the red health range, and if they don't throw straight away, we can just mudge that farmland down. They lose all of that energy there, and that's huge for us, because now we can go straight for a Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch crunch, grabs the final shield from the opponent, once again getting a point on the board. We, of course, all shields down, Ice Punch, gets the KO, but we can come in with the Marowak and go for a full Mud Slap farm down, and their final Pokemon is going to be a Diggersby. So, going for the charge move straight away, once again, Bone Club does some respectable damage there. We're able to reach another Bone Club before they can debuff us, potentially with a Scorching Sands. Bone Club does some decent damage here. We're on 7 points already. The opponent fires off the Scorching Sands. We're able to tank it, and we will reach a last second Bone Club, and once again, we're going to finish this battle with a points total of 8 points there. So again, going into the joint lead, I guess, on 8 points there. Very nice battle. But into the next battle, we're going to see Shadow Sableye into Morpeko. It's going to be a triple dark Shadow team here. Of course, I'm going to have to go for the move straight away. We're committing to Foul Play here. Foul Play is resisted. However, honestly, if the opponent wants to double shield here, even the Shadow Claws are going to add up over time, despite being resisted. We're going straight for Foul Play. Foul Play gets us a point on the board there. It looks like the opponent will be throwing on CMP once again. Unfortunately for us, we do lose CMP in this matchup. However, we're going to get another point on the board when we can finally throw the Foul Play here. So, of course, Foul Play number 2 is going to connect this time around, and that actually puts them into perfect farm down range there just before they reach another Aura Wheel. They come in with a Malamar, so going straight for Foul Play. Once again, another point on the board there. Very nice timing by the opponent, throwing just as we're reaching a 4th Foul Play. Foul Play, of course, takes out the Sableye. We can come in with the Shadow Drapion, and we're going straight for the Aquatail here. The opponent does over-farm. Aquatail, we're actually going to undercharge this just to get off more charge moves up against this opponent. The opponent is finally going to fire for charge move. They go for Superpower, and that's actually perfect for us because that means the Poison Sting damage KOs. We can throw the Aquatail straight away. Another point on the board, and it's also great for us because we don't waste the energy, of course, going for an Aquatail up against a 1 HP Malamar. We can now go for another Aquatail there. The opponent will finally throw a charge move to take out the Shadow Drapion. Stone Edge gets the KO. We can come in with the Shadow Alolan Raticate and go straight for a crunch again. I'm going to get a point here. They do still have a shield remaining, and they will use that final shield, but it just depends. Can we actually reach another charge move before we fully fast move farm them down? The opponent goes for Earthquake, and we're able to get there in time, going once again for the crunch, and again finishing on a points tally of 8. So another trainer going into joint first place at the moment with 8 points in total. So you can see it's going to be incredibly close here, but into the next battle, we've got another trainer running a triple fairy team here. So we are going to lead with Marwile. We're not even double move. We don't need to be because we don't get points for throwing different moves here. We actually get points if we commit to just the one charge move. So a lot easier to commit when you've only got one move to throw. But either way, the opponent swaps into Morpeko. Fine with us. We're going straight for the Power Punch here. We could have committed to a full farm down, but of course, we get the points if we throw our charge move straight away. So of course, 2 points right now. They come back in with the Eldegoss. We're going straight for another Power Punch here. We are triple boosted. Oh, sorry, now we're triple boosted. So the opponent probably will have to start shielding here. We're definitely going to shield though, as we, of course, for the challenge, it is a requirement for us to shield the first 2 charge moves. We go for another Power Punch here. Power Punch is going to grab the shield from the opponent, and we're only on 5%. So please charge your phone here. This would be a real shame if we don't get the full battle on record. But either way, we come in with the Alola Ninetales. They come in with a Blastoise. So again, going for the charge move straight away. We're running Side Shock as coverage. It's quite nice for us because we can get to the Side Shocks fairly quickly, and hopefully we can tank a Hydro Cannon from this range. The opponent fires off the Hydro Cannon, and we are barely able to survive, able to reach another Side Shock up against the Blastoise. It looks like the opponent maybe didn't even get the rollout through there, and it looks like the opponent is definitely lagging. So the opponent does finally get the rollout farm down, but we might be able to reach a Brutal Swing here. So the opponent fires off the charge move. We're able to take the Hydro Cannon, and we throw straight away. So once again, another point there on 7 points right now. Brutal Swing gets the KO. They come back in with the Eldegoss, and we're going straight for the Brutal Swing. So another battle and another trainer finishing on a total of 8 points. So again, another trainer going into joint first place. This is absolutely crazy. Is anyone going to be able to break that 8 points threshold here? I guess we're about to find out as we lead with another Marwile, and basically, well, the exact same team here, but a slightly different fast move, as we've actually got an Astonish Shadow Marwile this time instead of Fairy Wind. We're going for the Power Punch straight away, and of course, when we're committing both shields in the lead, we might as well commit to Power Punch here, as we can ramp up our attack here, knowing that, of course, we're going to double shield. We're going to just be able to continue spamming out these Power Punches and boosting up our Astonish damage. So at this point, the opponent is going to grab both of our shields, but that's okay. We are going to go straight for the power punch there, once again, getting another point, and the opponent is going to let that go through there. We can now commit to a full Astonished farm down, and the opponent's going to come in with a Guzzlord, which of course, they've got triple resisted Dragon Tail damage. Power punch actually grabs a shield at this point, and the opponent's still going to have to fire off a charge move to get rid of the Shadow Marwal. But of course, not ideal for them because we've got a triple fairy team. They swap into their final Pokemon, which is going to be Ariados, but that's okay for us, as we do have neutral damage. We go straight for the Weather Ball, getting another point on the board there, but the opponent will throw just before we reach a charge move. Now, if they're not on Cross Poison, Trailblaze does not do enough damage to get the KO there, so of course, we can go for another Weather Ball. Weather Ball should be grabbing the final shield for the opponent, and the opponent does not commit to a full farm down. So this one, of course, Trailblaze gets the KO there. We can come back in with the Galarian Weezing, and unfortunately losing CMP, but wanting to throw that charge move as soon as we get there, just to guarantee the points. So we do get the bonus point there, which is very nice. We can go for the Sludge. Sludge, of course, does get the KO, and even from this range, Guzzlord should not be able to take us out, and we throw once again straight away from this range. Sludge gets the KO up against the Guzzlord, and again, another trainer finishing on a total of 8 points. So going into the next battle eventually, and we are going to see another triple Dark Shadow team here. So leading with Sableye, we are going to once again commit to the Foul Play here, even though it is resisted damage. The only other move we've got is Frustration, so definitely does not make sense to throw that. Even though Dark is resisted, Foul Play going to do more damage than a Frustration here, so, and of course, just going to be a lot more energy efficient. But either way, once again, going for that Foul Play straight away. Foul Play is going to connect once again. Unfortunately, we do have to double shield here, but it's not too bad there, of course. We should be able to live a Foul Play, but honestly, by the time they throw a third one, it probably will get the KO. But either way, we fire off a third Foul Play. We do grab the shield finally from the opponent, and they are going to fire off that charge move straight away. So, of course, the opponent goes for Foul Play. It does take out the Sableye. We can come in with the Shadow Drapion, going straight for the Aqua Tail there. Once again, it looks like every single trainer in these battles is firing off their charge move straight away. So, pretty easy for us. It's basically just a challenge of who can throw the most charge attacks whilst following all the other rules for this requirement here. But either way, we go for the Aqua Tail. Once again, throwing as soon as we get there. The opponent is going to fire off the charge move. All shields are down, but it's just a Psychic Fang. So, very easy, very comfortable tank for us there. Again, going straight for the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail going to be shielded by the opponent, but we can reach another Aqua Tail here up against the Shadow Steelix. Aqua Tail is going to connect this time around, and it's actually a CMP tart as well, so very poor on the opponent's end. Committing to a farm down would have been the right play there, but even then, they go for a Psychic Fangs, and it does not get the KO. We get the full farm down, and the opponent is going to have a Corsola in the back, so this is a really good matchup for us. Night Slash hitting for super effective damage. The opponent will be able to outpace us to that next charge move, but that's absolutely okay. Power Gem, not enough damage to get the KO. We can go straight for the Night Slash, and we are finally going to finish on a total of 9 points. So that means Shadow Moron 214 will be going into the lead here with a 9-point total. So going into the next battle, and we are going to see a Shadow Gligar into Whiscash. A lot of lag there to start off. I hope this battle isn't as stuttery as this throughout the entire thing, but either way, we are going to go for a Night Slash. You can see it Mudshot went through like 2 seconds after we started throwing the charge move there. That is kind of insane. But either way, gonna shield once again. They go for a Scald there. Scald is going to, I think, that debuff their attack. I'm actually not entirely sure. We go for a Night Slash though, and now we boost up our attack there with the Night Slash. So either way, kind of hard to track what's going on, but we are just going to be firing off these Night Slashes as soon as we get there. Night Slash going to be coming through. It does connect this time around, and the opponent not able to reach another Scald. We get the full farm down, and they come in with a Lantern. Now, a little bit more stutters there. We're going to go straight for the Night Slash. Once again, Night Slash is going to connect, and the opponent throws on CMP, losing CMP up against the Shadow Gligar here. Night Slash gets the Lantern pretty low, and at this point, of course, a Surf should be enough damage to take out the Gligar, but that's okay. We're going to come in with the Nidoqueen, and the opponent swaps into their own Nidoqueen, but that's fine with us. We're ahead on energy. We can go straight for the Earth Power. Earth Power should be grabbing the final shield for the opponent, and it does exactly that. So at this point, we are going to, of course, have all shields down. The opponent going to full send the Earth Power, getting the KO, but we can come in with the Doug Trio, go straight for the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb, of course, going to be enough damage to take out the Nidoqueen, and can we reach another charge move? No, we're actually able to sand attack, farm them down, and as a result, we finished with just 7 points, so the lowest score so far, but still a very respectable score. But into the next battle, another Shadow Gligar, but this time I believe it's going to be a triple flying team. So Shadow Gligar once again on Fury Cutter. Very good for us as it's hitting for double super effective up against the Malamar. We go straight for Night Slash. Night Slash is going to connect here. We're definitely going to have to shield the first charge move and the second charge move. As always, throughout these battles, the opponent then swaps into Credilli, unfortunately throwing on poor timing, but guaranteeing the point there as we go for another Night Slash. Night Slash, not going to get any boost this time around, but we're going to have to be shielding this as the opponent goes straight for the Rock Tomb there, debuffing our attack. We can go for another Night Slash. This time it does look like good timing, which is ideal for us. Night Slash, again, gonna connect, and unfortunately we just barely miss out on reaching another Night Slash. But Shadow Gligar actually able to tank that and reach another Night Slash. Huge for us. Night Slash, still not enough damage to get the KO, but we can come in with a Jump Bluff and get a full Fairy Wind farm down. Coming out with the Aerial Ace loaded. We're going to blindly throw it into whatever comes in, and they actually come in with a Guzzlord, which is definitely fine for us. Guzzlord, of course, going to take double super effective damage from the Fairy Wind damage here. We can go for another Aerial Ace straight away. We're already on 6 points here, but let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent is probably not on Sludge Bomb as they go for a crunch there. We are now able to reach another Aerial Ace, but of course we cannot swap out of this matchup. Aerial Ace grabs the final shield from the opponent, and the opponent actually swaps out there, allowing us to reach another Aerial Ace. We're already on 8 points here. Maybe could have committed to an undercharge, come in with the Scyther, but at this point, unfortunately for the opponent, there's just nothing they can do here. They can throw off a charge move, but Scyther will very comfortably Fury Cutter, farm down the Guzzlord, and again finishing on a total of 8 points. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Shadow Gligar once again here into Annihilate, but this time we're actually on Aerial Ace, which is definitely a lot better for us in this situation because, of course, Fury Cutter double resisted up against the Fighting and Ghost typing, whilst Wing Attack is... Wait, did I say Aerial Ace? I meant Wing Attack as the fast move, sorry. Whilst Wing Attack is going to hit for super effective damage. Now, the opponent swaps into a Feint Attack Umbreon, which is definitely not the way to go. We're going to go for another Aerial Ace straight away, once again getting some points there. The opponent is going to fire off the charge move, so again, going to shield straight away and go for another Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace not going to do that much damage up against the Umbreon. The opponent does no shield once again, but that's fine with us. Maybe we can tank this, although actually not sure if we will reach another charge move, and no, we're not able to do so. So we come in with the Steelix, and Umbreon just barely able to reach a last second charge move. We will come out of this matchup with a Psychic Fangs loaded, so we're going to throw it straight away into Annihilate, coming back in. Psychic Fangs is going to connect up against the Annihilate. They let that go through, and we're able to fully farm them down. And they've got a Bastiodon in the back. Absolutely huge for us. We go straight for Psychic Fangs here. Psychic Fangs not going to do much damage, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm also realizing the opponent is on Iron Tail Bastiodon, which is definitely not the way to go here. This opponent definitely should check out the fast moves that they're using before putting a team together. But either way, we go for another Psychic Fangs there, another point on the board. But they are triple debuffed. Quagsire, whilst we will resist every charge move they can throw, isn't really going to get a chance to throw many charge moves of our own because, of course, they're so low. These Mud Shots are doing huge damage. We go straight for the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb gets us to 8 points in total. And at this point, that's going to be our final score because we cannot throw another charge move. One more Mud Shot gets the farm down. And again, another trainer finishing on a total of 8 points. So going into the final battle of this video, ending with Emerald Nightmare, usually very much up there around the tops of these challenges. So let's see if they can finish on top or if they're going to be another trainer finishing on 8 points. Either way, another Shadow Gligar in the lead, this time a triple flying team once again. We're going to shield the move here as, of course, we do have to shield every charge move. Well, the first two charge moves, of course, we can't shield everyone. We're going to go for another Night Slash straight away. Night Slash going to be shielded by the opponent, and unfortunately they do throw just before we reach that next Night Slash, but either way, we have to shield anyways. So we're going to go for that Night Slash immediately, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent is going to double shield their Lapras as well, but we're able to reach another Night Slash before they do throw another Sparkling Aria. So Night Slash gets the KO there. Actually winning the 2-shield scenario up against a Lapras is kind of insane to me. They come in with a Clodsire, again, going straight for Night Slash. Night Slash is, of course, going to connect, and they throw just before we reach that next charge move. So really good timing by the opponent. Stone Edge gets the KO there. We're going to have to come in with a Jump Bluff, even though Skarmory would be better, because of course we have to stick to the order that we submitted, or that we entered into the battle. But either way, we go straight for Aerial Ace here. Jumpluff able to tank the Stone Edge and able to outspam the Clodsire, making it to another Aerial Ace throwing straight away. We're on 7 points here. Aerial Ace is not going to get the KO, so the opponent does swap out there into Serperior, able to reach another Aerial Ace up against Serperior. Aerial Ace does not do much damage as we fully undercharge it, but unfortunately losing CMP, so we do not get the points here. Aerial Ace gets the KO. We come in with Skarmory, and the reason we undercharge is because we are, of course, on Air Slash. So Air Slash doing big damage here. We are completely walling the charge moves from this Serperior, but it just depends, can we actually reach another charge move to throw into the enemy? So of course the opponent swaps back into Clodsire, they go for Stone Edge. Stone Edge does big damage, but we are able to reach a last second charge move. Skarmory gets to the Sky Attack, and we are finally going to finish on another total of 9 points. So Emerald Nightmare going into joint first with 9 points overall. So here we have the final standings for this challenge. Congrats to ShadowMoron214 and Emerald Nightmare, both finishing on a total of 9 points. And actually, just a single point separating first place and 9th place is absolutely insane there. Obviously, it kind of just turned into a challenge where you had to see who could throw the most charge attacks as soon as they reached them, with a bunch of other random stuff that didn't really affect the total scoring at all. So let me know if you've still enjoyed watching the video. I think maybe in sort of concept this was a really cool challenge, but in practice maybe it didn't work out to be as enjoyable as maybe I was hoping for. But let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Anyways, I can now announce next week's challenge, the Beat the Algorithm challenge, where the aim of the challenge is to fight back against the hardest counters to your team. You'll earn 1 point if your lead is weak to at least one of the opposing lead Pokemon's typings, and 2 points if you're double weak to that typing. Points will stack if you are weak to both typings though, so if you lead with Alolan Sandslash for example, and you lead into a Blaziken, you're obviously double weak to both fire and fighting, so you'll get 2 points for the fire typing and 2 points for that fighting typing. You also earn 1 point if you're weak to their fast move, and 2 points if you're double weak to the fast move. You'll earn 1 point if you're weak to any of the charge moves that are seen to be used in the game, and 2 points if you are double weak to it. However, if you do not see the charge move that you're expecting to see be thrown at all in the battle, then you unfortunately will not get points for that charge move. You're also going to earn 1 point if their lead Pokemon resists any of your typings, and 2 points if they double resist it, and 3 points if they triple resist it. Points will stack once again if they have 2 typings resisted by the opponent's lead Pokemon. You'll get 1 point if they resist your fast move, 2 points if they double resist it, and 3 points if they triple resist it. You'll also earn 1 point if they resist one of your charge attacks, 2 points if they double resist it, and 3 points if they triple resist it, and the same goes for your other charge attack. Now, the same scoring system also applies to your Say Swap and their Counter Swap, and then again for your third Pokemon and their third Pokemon, even if you aren't actually aligned to each other in the end game. Now, if you think any adjustments need to be made to the scoring system for next week's challenge, please let me know in the comments ASAP, as I'm open to making changes based on your feedback, but you need to be quick as I'll be officially announcing the challenge in a community post tomorrow. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.